Hello. Ugh. She had just settled down too. Of course, the minute that I say hello, she's like, I have to scream too. Tammy, can you go lay down? They've been cutting trees like all day on our street. So it's been a little rough. Anyways. No cam today. I actually scoop myself over too because I'm a little like feel like I'm a little out there. Anyways. But I just wanted to do a little short stream. I'm trying to knock out, I have a ton of like games in my backlog that I have been wanting to stream. So today we are playing The Stanley Parable. This kind of counts as a spooky game, I think. I mean, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a horror game. But definitely in the more strange category, I would say. And how are you doing, little Vabe? I see you over there in chat. Sorry, let me just make sure everything's working right. Okay. Looks like we're all good. So my background, I am going to answer no to this question. I did play this game before, but it was a really long time ago. I don't remember how long ago, even. It was probably like, I mean, had to have been, God, it had to have been like 10 years ago, maybe longer than that. Oh, what am I saying? I've been out of college for almost 10 years. So yeah, definitely over 10 years ago. I played the original. I don't think I finished it when I played it though. I think because I don't remember a lot of it. I played it like at someone's house, just like a friend's house, and I don't think we finished it. But anyway, so I'm gonna say no because I mean, gosh, it fucking forever ago. I'm not good at remembering stuff, so I'm just gonna make sure that this is also like enough so OBS picks it up good. Because again, I feel like on my screen I could go down like this, but in OBS, like I want to make sure that OBS picks up the darks because that's always a problem. But anyway, so I'm gonna say no, even though I did play this like forever ago. Again, I like kind of have vague memories of it. Like I remember overall like what it is, but I don't remember specifics of the game at all. So it'll pretty much be a fresh playthrough here. Oh, do I have to go all the way through? Okay. I thought I could change the AM to PM. Yes. This is also the deluxe edition. So I don't know what's changed from the original to the ultra deluxe. I don't know what differences there are. Okay, we have subtitles. We'll keep all that like that for now. That should be fine. Okay.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Hold on, that is really sensitive. That all the way down. Ooh, we might just use a controller. I feel like this is a controller game. Sorry, let me just plug this in real quick. Because boy, is that mouse sensitivity like kind of whack. Let's see. Okay, yeah, that already feels way better. Turn this back up now. Okay. Much smoother. Ooh, I'm so fast. What time is it? That's not the... Is that the time? That's not the time. I couldn't tell which hand was the minute hand and which hand was the hour hand for a second there. Not that either would make it the correct time. Anyways.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Just trying all the buttons. Ooh. Okay. Shouldn't leave monitors on, so I guess that's fine. Okay. Just trying out all of our buttons and stuff. Doop-doo. Think fun? Okay. Who's just leaving papers in the floor of an office, by the way? Having worked in an office now, gosh, the last time, like when this game came out, I had never worked in an office before. Not like a cubicle office. Now I have. Oh, weird. Solitaire. $4.20. Let's go blaze it. Let's go blaze. I definitely feel like there's more details and textures than what I remember. But that also could just be my mind being like fuzzy. You know what I mean? Like you don't always remember like little things.
Two open doors. He entered the door on his left.
Did he? Did he though?
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully
that texture gets
room.
crunchy.
Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Coffee? Give me coffee.
Yeah, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took
cut
the
off the
first
narrator.
open door on his left.
Did he, though? Do not lie.
Stanley was
If you
so
are
bad at
lying
following directions,
right now,
it's incredible
stop.
he wasn't fired years ago.
I don't remember, like, if your choices really make a huge difference or what, like, I don't know anything about, like, the choice differences in this game, I will say. Again, I didn't play, like, for
Look, Stanley,
very
I
long
think
when I did
perhaps
play
we've
it.
gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Into the blackness we go.
That's her, Stanley.
Hello?
You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone. As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone?
You're damn right
that
I
wasn't
did.
supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly. I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
Ha!
I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
I don't think I made all the wrong choices when I played through this before, so this is quite different, actually.
But incorrectly can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack." Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to
Less.
wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and
2.
whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Ah, welcome back.
Thank
You
you.
may have
I am back.
noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
No. I have to. It's okay. I will follow your lead, Mr. Narrator. Okay.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful,
I like
we
that they
can't
gave
have
me
you
a
jumping
safety
off the
rail.
platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Your reality. I can... Oh, I was hoping I could just shove myself in the gap and kill myself just to make him mad. Okay, sir. We'll play your game.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world. Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No. No, he didn't.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
I like when things get messy, though. It's fun. I'll show you. I'll show you, narrator. Okay, okay. It was fun, though, for a second. Aw.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to. I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You, who thought you were so clever.
I am
Now
very
look where we
clever.
are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground.
Oh.
What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley?
I mean,
He actually
honestly,
knows
too,
how to
this is
do
all
what I
just
tell
an
him to.
allegory
He
for
understands that
actual
if I
game
say to
development.
do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child.
I am. Goo goo gaga, bitch.
My story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make... behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right.
I just got an achievement that says, you can't jump. No, seriously, we disabled it. Oh, that's funny. I'm sorry, I don't know my left from my right. Oof,
No!
such a shame.
Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing.
I wonder how many times I can
always putting the story first.
Piss him off.
I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
The left, yes, this one. This one. I did it. It was this one. Oh, you're not even going to talk to me anymore? He's very...
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back.
He's very upset with me.
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right.
Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me.
On his left.
Motherfucker.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back.
Am I just gonna have to do it at some point?
As Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I did it.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine.
Okay, we'll do it. Just because I want to move the game ahead.
A set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Fine, you have forced me to do what you tell me. I'm not raging against any machines anymore. I guess I'm in my 30s. I shouldn't be raging against machines. I should just accept that this is where...
person here either. Feeling a wave of
where we go now.
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Oh, they're so cute. Cabal planning. I mean, group planning. Using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Make sure you're... Oh. Everyone is unique. You, most of all. Synergize core value expenditures. Number of slides on this slide. Yes, very good, very good, very good. Graphs about things and money. Okay. Well, this is all very exciting. Yep, the numbers add up. Okay. Get me the fuck out of here.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
So pretty. I would have... This is how I would want my house... Oh, fucking... Damn it. Cammy, it's okay. Calm down, baby. Okay, baby. Calm down. You're okay, baby. Sorry. Again, they've been cutting trees on the street all day, and she is not okay with it. the beige pages. I love it. Do kids even know what the yellow pages is? Wow. I wonder too, if I had an office, would I use like the red damask or the green? Because the green does look real nice, but I like the red. The red feels more calming to me. I know that's like the opposite of what the color is supposed to do to a person, but like, so this feels warm and nice. Like, you just get a cozy book and a fire. The ceiling's far too high though. Like if we just shrunk all this down some, I would feel more comfortable, but I love the like cherry wood with the red damask wallpaper. I love that look. If I had an office, I would
manager's office, Stanley was once again
definitely have that.
stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Nightshark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
You can do it, Stanley.
Stanley spoke the code. Nightshark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
Nightshark 115. Come on, you can do it.
I'm sorry, is there a problem?
Yeah.
You didn't mishear me, did you? Please
Can't talk.
speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Oops.
Okay, fine. You're not going to do it. But you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You... When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important.
Developed by Crows.
It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something.
Do something.
This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
Loading. Okay, now we do the playing around.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Isn't there a way to, like, get through some of the... Does this work? No? No. Okay. Sorry, I was checking if the... Leah Marin! Hello! Cool game? Yeah. It's a pretty fun, I mean, kind of a classic. Again, I don't remember much from when I played it the first time I played it, forever ago.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
That's not how my name is pronounced, but okay. Sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, it's, how am I supposed to know? I'm sorry. How is your name pronounced? It's okay. That's good.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
No one
Stanley
can
decided
pronounce
to
my
go
name
up
because
to
it's
his
a
boss's
Spanish name?
office, hoping he might find an answer there.
There we go.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom
I want the
closet.
tools.
No reason to
Give
still
me
be
tools. Okay, fine. Jerk.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yep, I definitely did that. What's the name of the game? It's called The Stanley Parable. This is the Ultra Deluxe
But Stanley
edition.
just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why
Oh,
did doors
just made me
close
look down.
automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this.
Oh,
while I'm
he
still
died, I
lucid."
think.
So, he imagined
He's
himself
dreaming,
flying
the narrator
and began
just
to
said.
gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one.
Oh, I think I'm still moving the camera.
He thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please. It's all I want. I want my apartment.
Maybe the part where he dies is the plot twist.
My job.
The narrator is literally narrating how Stanley is hearing the narrator. Yeah.
It's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
I mean, this whole game is about, like, fourth wall breaking. So it's all stuff like that.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life.
He died. Oh, so do you not know anything about the Stanley Parable?
Staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Sorry, when you said stuff earlier, I thought you were referencing what was going to happen. I mean, he did die, but he didn't. The first time that I realized this game exists. Okay. I mean, I don't know. This game is kind of not exactly one thing or another.
All of his coworkers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I just like interacting with the things that I can interact with. I like to touch all the computers. Computer. Awaiting input. Input received. We gotta touch all the things. First time I realized this game exists. Well, you know, I mean, nothing wrong with that. This is definitely so like the whole like narrator thing.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
I feel like
he
this was
entered the door on his
very
left.
like because this game originally came out in 2013, I think is what it said in the credits. And like this was very new. I feel like this has been done in some other games since then. But this was like made in like the source Valve. Yeah, 2013. We're gonna try
This was
right.
not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes. This room. What a beautiful
So pretty much
room.
there's just like
What gorgeous,
a ton of
gorgeous
different
room.
ways that you can play
Thank
through
goodness
this.
Stanley had taken this
Like little
detour.
thing.
Eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
So like last time I went straight. So let's see
And
what
so
goes
he
here.
detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
So yeah, there's like a ton of different ways that you can play through this little like opening part, and it all I don't know, it's like hard to describe, but they all like kind of have like diverging paths and stuff, but you have to like kind of go through everything to like fill in the greater thing. Like we already went through one ending where
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office.
we denied
He wanted to
everything, and the
wander
narrator
around
freaks
get
out and
even
says,
further off track.
"Why are you breaking
So
my
now in
game?"
order to get back, he needed to go from here it's left.
And I played it forever ago, but I don't remember like super
Oh,
details
no.
of stuff.
No, it's to the right. My mistake.
So, and I didn't play through everything
No.
when I played
no,
it the
no,
first
no,
time.
Not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right?
Oh, thank you for subscribing.
What was I thinking? It's clearly. Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Is my YouTube like not showing
Let's see, we
subscriptions?
went down right, left, down.
I feel like YouTube's weird
left,
about subscriptions, where it doesn't always
Yep,
like
Okay, yes. I've
show
got
'em
it
right
now.
away.
This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
hello, Mr. Carr. Oh, it is so weird too playing through this, because like a lot of these, I feel like they remade this entire game in Unity, so a lot of these assets look like the Valve like, because I think originally this was made in the Source engine forever ago. Gotta go, be back in about 2 minutes. Yeah, no problem. But so, yeah, so all these assets look familiar, but they're not the exact same ones as before.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stan, close your eyes.
No.
Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, hmm? Okay, from the top. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
There. Wouldn't let me turn off the thing. Ah, there it goes. Here's the subscription notification. Thank you for subscribing, Leah. Welcome back as well. Welcome back.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move
No.
the story somewhere, or...
No, it wasn't
I'm
me.
asking you. I'm the one who wrote the story. was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Let's go! Maze time! I'm in a maze. Wow. Liminal spaces before liminal spaces. The narrator's breaking the fourth wall. Yeah! He does that sometimes. He wants you to play the game. He wants you to play the game his way, just like every developer.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Oh, okay. He started the game over. He did not like the directions I went.
Were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Do we have... Oh. Just gotta click the computers. They make fun noises. Uh-oh.
Okay, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Hmm. Any more computers? Nope. Okay. Okay.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
Just around this corner.
Wait,
Oh.
never mind.
Oh.
Not the story.
Oh.
Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Wow, this looks really good, actually. This room looks much,
Well, I'll be honest,
more
I don't
HD.
recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely
don't
forgotten
remember.
what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win!
Yay!
Congratulations!
We
I know you
won!
put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off. So, good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win.
Yay!
Some people win fair and square, and this
hiya,
is not one of those
Skims.
situations.
You doing good? I'm doing
getting
great.
weirded out by
How are you
whatever
doing?
This place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
He's getting mad at the story.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just
Trademark.
follow the line. How simple is that?
Very simple. I'm doing all right. Good to hear.
No, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
I didn't even look at where the line was going. Not gonna lie. Like my brain didn't even stop and think about it. Let's play some solitaire. We got this. No, they won't let me play solitaire. My life is over.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no
Yes.
story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay.
Yes.
Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on.
I don't know, maybe?
Weird back there? Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
We got real existential there, you guys. Oh, wow, this is so loud. It's so loud. Get me out of the music. Somehow we ended up going backwards. I'm lost. Fuck you, line. I won't do what you tell me. Okay, I think we do actually have to follow the line, though. Again, we can only rage against the machine for so long in our lives before the music haunts us. Can't go up. Okay. I like the filing cabinet full of mugs. I think the line has gotten a little crazy. Okay, calm down, calm down. Sorry, the music was getting way too much. This game confuses me. I understand. It's kind of the point of the game. This game is like, I don't know. Again, I don't really know how to describe it. It's just like very fourth wall breaky, meta, kind of a allegory for creating video games, playing video games. Hey, it's the Payday mask. I love that the line is also... Oh, thank God.
Go back and look at that fern.
Go back and look at the fern? Do we follow what he said?
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure
You're
you
very
study
important.
it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Okay. Yep. Yep. Studied closely. Looks like a fern.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Is that the copy machine making that noise? Interesting. Okay. Well, we'll follow. Follow the newly opened door. Oh, we're back.
Oh, No, 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 not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we
did it.
trusted you, after everything we've been through...
Someone got fired.
Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Well, we started it over. We still got the line, though.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it
Yeah.
ever done for us?
Nothing.
We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story?
Yeah.
Something exciting, daring, mysterious.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable.
We
Why
got
don't
it.
we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Let's go. If you go the opposite way of the line.
Yes.
It was just
this
leading
is
us back to the
exciting.
beginning.
Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
A dinosaur. Can I be a dinosaur?
Oh, no, not you
Oops.
again. Stanley.
We broke the
I'd
game.
also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
If I just, like, leave. Sometimes you can, like, you know, make choices where you backtrack and stuff like that. Sometimes you cannot. See, like, I don't think we're gonna get anywhere by going backwards here. Oh well. That's okay. We shall forge ahead. The line looks a little drunk, not gonna lie. You get out of your car and the police officer says, "Please walk this line." And you go, officer, I'm not Spider-Man? I don't know if I can walk this line. Well, you're going to jail. My brother is saying the F word to me and I don't know.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Okay, so if the door on the right, then let's go oh, we can't. Pick the door that has 3 normal boxes. In 1 yellow box? I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways. The confusion ending. You've been playing the confusion ending for 19 minutes. Okay.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing. wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't.
Yeah, good for you.
I won't.
Good for you, narrator.
I won't do it.
You make your own decisions.
And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle?
Yeah, you and me.
Whatever it is that made this schedule? How
Yeah.
do we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Uh-oh. I think something went wrong. Well, I still can't use my computer. It is quite the conundrum.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Sorry, itchy.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Just making sure to turn off all these unused computers because, you know, don't want to be,
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
don't want to be, You know, we've gone right literally every single time. I think there was one time that I went left. So we'll go left. Go on the right door. You know what? I'm gonna play this how I want. And like I just said, you know, I've gone right literally most of the time.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
We've also done this before. Honestly, I haven't gone through actually following the narrator yet all the way, so let's go there. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Cuz we came up here once, but it was only when forced. And we haven't explored this yet. Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast. Money crisp. Extreme bathrooms. I want to subscribe to that magazine. I want to see this at the extreme bathrooms. Ah, there's my input. Got it. Oh, poor panda. Every time with that picture. It's so sad. Sad panda is sad. Sexual harassment. Panda. Wait. Let's go up. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, da, da, ba, ba, ba. That was it? We didn't go anywhere. Well, we can go down. Let's go down. Short history of relations between Poland and Austria-Hungary. Oof. Recommendations from Oversight Committee. Two very different pages there. Okay, I think the elevator currently doesn't go anywhere. I think it just plays the music forever.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Well, except that you just told me. Thank you, narrator.
Yet incredibly,
You're a real G.
random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing.
Total luck.
He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Nice. Hello? Anybody in this newly opened passageway? Going down?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Just spray painted with the yellow caution.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Or do we escape? I think one of these sounds much better.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
I think you're lying, Mr. Narrator. I think you wanted me to go to the mind control facility.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Yes, sir. Go back? But we're here. Hello? Is this the portal to hell? I'm going in. I have been playing against the flow for most of this game.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he
Hold on. Yeah.
reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
I can't move. I can't do anything.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
But it didn't. New narrator. Okay, there's boxes.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
This blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development. Though the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. The storyline is the best. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. The corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in good time. Filing cabinets. The two doors. The set of the two doors was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parables design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction of this room past. I gotta go. Well, thank you for hanging out. I mean, this VOD will be up, so if you want to see the rest, it'll be up on YouTube when I'm done streaming. But thanks for hanging out, and thank you again for subscribing. Button sounds, a selection of the sounds used throughout the game. Let's press them. Oh, nice. Ooh, pleasant. I don't like the last one. Each sound is a mix of a keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. Office computers. Yes. Beep. Boop. Credits. Crows. Okay. This way. The office. Maintenance room. An early version of the maintenance room. Printer. What's the other way? Screens from the development of the boss's office. I see. Office clock. Yep, that checks out. It's over here. Oh, that's ominous. Underground, an early version of the underground portion. The lounge. I want to go up in the center. Go see what's over here. Freedom ending. This was the first incarnation of the freedom ending in the game's alpha. Countdown desk. One of the desks from an early version of the countdown ending. This is the freedom ending as it existed in the beta. Monitor room elevator. For a time, the elevator in the monitor room could go up or down, with freedom above and countdown below. We abandoned this when players found it too difficult to remember what was up and what was down and placed the two endings together instead. Earlier version of the countdown room. The game is now paused. escape menu. For a long time, we had an ending that only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. Unfortunately, very few players realized this was what they were supposed to do, which was frustrating for everyone. Z ending. This screenshot depicts an early version of the ending known as the Zending, which was eventually cut and merged with another part of the game. And we didn't even get very many endings. Zending model. The Zending went through many iterations. This room represented the 4th version of the ending, and we thought it was complete, but decided to abandon and change it again shortly before launch. These levers were originally part of the Z ending. The player would pull a lever, and the narrator would describe what color they pulled. Oh, it doesn't let me pull them. I wanted to try to pull them. Trailers. We ran 4 major teaser trailers over the course of the game's development, each meant to convey something about the spirit of the game. This was the first one released in May 2012. It features a series of broken rooms and the voice of the narrator informing viewers that he is repairing a new version of the Stanley Parable. Annie, honey, please calm down. Meeting room. Maintenance layout. The flow of hallways following the first 2 doors was important to get right since players will replay them so many times. We discussed a number of designs, but ultimately it was the simplest version that won out. Apartment timer. In a previous version of the choice leading to the apartment ending, a timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. We never even picked up the phone. Cargo lift was always intended to offer the choice of staying on or jumping to a different path. However, this early version, we decided we also wanted the option of the player falling to their death. You know, I thought about it when we were on that elevator. The second version is functionally the same as what's in the final game, but we wanted it to look more like a place where cargo is actually stored. The office. The lounge. Early version of the lounge. The lounge. Ultra Deluxe announcements. In December 2018, we announced the Ultra Deluxe version of Stanley Parable at the Game Awards. These are screenshots of the videos we made for the announcement. Ah. Okay, I think that we circled back that way now. Narrator emails. After the second trailer we sent out, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. We had initially planned to use these further promotional materials. We never found the perfect use for them. Here are sections of those emails. What do the lights in the control... Oh, I did. Okay. Partner, I am Anthony Elias, business broker. Please partner with me on a very rewarding business venture. Details will be sent to you if you are interested. Hi, Mr. Narrator Guy. I have a question for you, sir. What is your message for today? Sincerely, Harris. Okay. Game design mockup. This is the level that William, the level designer, sent to Davey, the writer, as kind of an audition piece. Doopy doopy doop. Okay.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
We turned it off.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
Well, you made it all black. I can't see anything.
But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone.
This is the story of a man named...
Oh, did we start all over again? I thought that was an ending. It just said
All of
that
his
was an ending.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply
Ah, it
missed
was.
a memo.
Look. We got the
No
fourth
matter
input.
how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Okay. So let's just speed run this.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I think there's more options to the left that to explore here.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
We got
Feeling a
one
wave of
ending left.
disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
What was there? I feel like there was something else here. Okay, that's not open this time.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Hold on. I got this. I got this. 6, 9, 6.
Stanley just sat around
9.
twiddling his thumbs.
Damn.
Trying to input
Okay,
anything
fine.
on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay, we can't go back. Now we go through the mind control side, right? See what's in the mind control room. I think that's the only other like
Stanley
major
walked
decision
straight
we
ahead
haven't
through
tried.
The large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did
Hey,
this
we've been up
place
there before.
hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored
Camille,
in this place
please get out of the
where
window, honey.
freedom meant nothing.
Cammy, come here. Stop it. Cammy, stop. Calm down. Sit. Calm down. Calm down. It's okay. They're just chopping trees. It's okay. It's okay. No one's gonna hurt you. You're fine. Everything's okay. Hush, baby. Hush, 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 hush. Go lay down. Hey. Stop. Sorry. She's getting a little antsy.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his
My
boring
control.
job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Oh, wouldn't that... I feel like this is, the premise of... This is very similar to the premise of
to believe it. He
the
couldn't
TV show
accept
Severance.
it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
I mean, or we turn it on so that we can just, like, mindlessly like our job and not have to, you know, have emotion and stuff. Mind controls idle, awaiting input. Is there, because there was a 5 there. Is there? There is. One, two. Where's the other? Oh, they're up there. Can't get up there. Poop. Poop! There's 5. There's definitely, like, 3 is up there. Nope, 3 is here. Maybe hitting this will open? The gate here? No? Okay. Hello? Okay. We'll go to the power room. System power.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Do we hit off or on? Ah, fuck. Let's do it. Let's turn it off. We're gonna be good boys and girls and turn off the mind control facility.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Beat the game! Complete the Stanley Parable. Oh, Welcome, Stanley, to heaven. I don't like heaven. This is too bright. It hurts my eyes. Do I just have to like click all these off? No way, right? Do they even stay off? No. Okay. Hi, Gingy. I'm getting dizzy. Yeah, I get you. What do you want me to do? I don't have my narrator anymore. I'm upset. I'm just hitting all the ones of the same color now. Did it work? They still, like, don't stay... Yeah, they don't stay turned off. Get me out! I don't like it. Are they like chanting something important? Okay, is any of the buttons look different? Maybe we can find something here. No. Oh, fuck, it's so bright. Do we hit begin the game again? I feel like there's something you're supposed to do here, though. Like, this seems important. I hit all the inputs. I'm gonna look it up real quick. Okay, so the choir is singing push the buttons. I can't even. Oh, you can only exit by resetting the game on your own. Okay. I was gonna say, that was... I didn't want to... I looked into it. Looks like a trap. Yeah, I don't know.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I mean, we did technically do all the endings, I think, or all the main endings? Not all the variations. I think there's a lot of variations. Oh, new content.
Oh, new content? What
He
does that
said
mean,
exactly what I said.
new content.
Where are we going?
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
You're welcome.
As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Okay, elevator go.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's fucking go.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if, Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Gimme the content, Stanley.
We can jump.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Well, that's pretty exciting. Can't jump anymore. You can only jump inside the jump circle.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
I want to use up all the jumps. I want to try it. Sound effects are pleasing. Oh. Is this a EA game? Do I just need to pay more money for more jumps? 5 cents per jump.
Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
That is still not the correct time. Okay. Thank you for enjoying the new content.
That's
Oh, you're
it?
welcome.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to
IDKY,
market
but I'm
for
getting
no
dizzy on this
reason
game. It's
other
probably
than
the
to make an
FOV. I feel like the
easy dollar.
FOV is
And don't
really,
get me started on the level of craftsmanship
like-
that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's
It's
achievements.
like
and it's hard
old
to believe
game
one of them actually
FOV.
says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up.
I actually wonder... Yeah. I wonder if we can, like, turn this up or down, I'm not
To
sure.
such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Okay. Let's go, narrator. Oh. My office. It looks so different.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
You know what? Okay. I'm down. Let's go, Mr. Narrator. I'll follow you now. We're like friends now.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special, and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it.
Wow.
Just our little secret. Take a look.
This is cool.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Ah, 2013,
You see,
the Stanley
doesn't the
Parable was
Memory Zone
released.
remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was
Steam
sullied with a
page.
cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
The British Film Academy of Film and Television Arts awarded to something else, The Last of Us, in the category story. Good times. Oh gosh, I love how much they can make fun of themselves. It's this is kind of amazing. I'm not gonna lie. Our first kiss, my first car, the release of the Stanley Parable in 2013. Okay. A trip down memory lane. Smile because it happened. Unachievable. It is impossible to get this achievement. Go outside. Don't play for 5 years. Jesus Christ. Oh, fucking. God damn it. Sorry. Scared the shit out of me right there. Sorry. The dog just, I don't know, freaked out over literally nothing. But Anyways. Nominee for a lot of things in the British Film and Television Awards. Creators, surprisingly down to earth. This is very funny. Oh, what's in here?
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like the stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Oh. Well, the original remake. But what's down here? Memory zone maintenance? Let me in. Okay, fine. Don't let me in. Person of the year. That guy. Oh, I want to get up there. Can I jump? Well, this is all quite silly, I have to say. Literally anything.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games, and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
I want to go back there, the serious room. I want to go to the serious room. Let me in. Let me in. Oh, I'm serious. I'm super serious. Okay, fine.
These were simpler times, Stanley.
Maintenance
What
is
I wouldn't
open.
give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here.
Oh
Surely
my God.
these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
No. No, that's not gonna happen. Oh no.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny.
Oh, I
with
wonder
his
if this is just a
humor and
random
dialogue proving to be more
real
irritating
review.
than entertaining. Unfunny. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
This is hilarious because like this game originally even was just like such an allegory for creating video games, and so now that they're going through like the destruction of video games, like kind of the aftermath of releasing a video game, it's very funny.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley, I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to.
Oh.
These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure.
Oh.
Like I let these people down.
As a
Perhaps
developer,
the
I feel like I'm
Stanley
gonna
Parable
cry.
Isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Oh. As someone who's made video games, I feel like I'm gonna cry for him right now. This is like real, this is real horror right here. This is how every developer feels at the end.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Okay.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll... Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video. Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not... Stanley,
I do love annoying the narrator, though.
Again. It's been 12
Oh my
hours.
goodness.
You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back.
Oh no, all the lights have
Goodness,
gone out.
I have someone to talk to again.
Oh,
Stanley, I think
oh,
it's been a week.
the tree's
2 weeks.
dead.
I've been sitting here all that time, just sitting here, not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how...
Oh no.
Oh, hello, it's you. You're
Hi.
here again, welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you
Oh
ever
my
sat
goodness.
down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities.
Oh no. Narrator, are you there? Narrator? Did he leave me? Narrator? Hello? Is anyone there? Oh well, I guess we'll just skip ahead. That beeping is awful. Stop the beeping. Where's the beeping? Stop it. Make it stop. Make it stop. Okay.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the...
I'm sorry, narrator. I do love you. I'm not Cookie 9. I thought you were delightful. One more time.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is
Oh,
never
yeah.
the end, is
Yep.
never the end, is 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 never the.
We're just gonna go ahead and blaze through that one. Are you there, narrator? It's leaking. The ceiling's leaking. You should get that fixed. Uh-oh. That's why you should get leaks fixed. You guys. Rule number 1 when having a house. Always get your leaks fixed, because this is what happens. Well, one more time. Oh, it's beautiful. Look at how nice. Oh, what a beautiful daytime. Okay. Maybe if we go long enough, we'll break out. The ferns are back. Oh, it's so pretty. Uh-oh. It's not pretty no more. What happened? Hello? Okay, let's just skip through this dystopian hell. Okay, maybe we can't skip through the dystopian hell anymore. Uh-oh, my button. Oh! Hey, look, we can leave. Maybe we don't want to leave anymore. Uh-oh. Narrator? Narrator, are you still there? Okay, well, we can't exactly walk on top of the building. I really wanted to, but that's okay. Can I hit the button again? Oh no, am I gonna have to walk through the desert? Oh, this is just the worst. Oh. Uh-oh.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I mean, that's an absurd amount of papers on the floor, I'm just saying. Absurd. New content. Dang. You got a neon sign.
Noticed my sign. Yes,
It was very
I have
good.
something very exciting to show you.
Let's go. Let's get it. I'm into it, narrator. You got me. Okay.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh, investor showcase.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly
The end is never the end. Again!
Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
2. That's funny.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2...
This is so funny.
Now that's an artistic
This is so
statement
funny.
right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term...
It's like they wanted
franchising
that
potential.
picture to be in the frame, but they didn't make it full screen on the... Oh, it's so funny. I don't know why that cracks me up more than so much else in this game. Just the 2 of us, we can make it if we try. Oh, this whole thing is really funny. This is, oh gosh, I've visited offices like these. More TSP. Better TSP. Win? Win. Concept art. Got it. New content is out. New content is in. They're back 2 doors. Oh my gosh. This is so funny.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts...
Who took the red marker?
that surely the
Me.
game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Oh my gosh. Oh, this is so funny. Sequels are good. Ah. We don't really have an idea, but surely a sequel will work, right? Surely. Because it has to. That's how... Oh gosh, who was it? BioWare Magic used to work. The game's not ready yet, but BioWare Magic will happen in the last 2 weeks, and it'll work.
Go on, try out some of the new features.
Reassurance bucket, a button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. What? Hear your name in the game. Sure.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful? Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name of Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here,
What if my name was
let's have you
Jim?
role play as Jim to really simulate the
Can
full
you
experience
imagine
of this feature.
if your name is
Just
Jim,
play
how
along. I
freaked out you would
promise
be?
you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath.
For
clear
just a
your
second.
mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named
Okay.
Jim.
I am
want
Jim.
you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping
I am
and
Jim.
waking as Jim,
I am
falling
Jim.
in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing
Jim.
all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and
I
as
am Jim.
watching your dreams crumble into dust.
Yep.
Do you feel it deeply?
Yep.
Are you really, truly Jim right now?
Yep.
If so, then please step forward and press the button. Jim. Yes, you see.
I
What
feel
a thrill,
validated.
What a rush. That was you.
I feel
The
seen.
button described you. Do it again. Do it again. Jim.
Yep, that's me.
It's even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation. Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much, Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away. Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually are.
Okay. Bye button. He did literally put the Jim button away. Wow. Okay. That's fine.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Updated, ray traced, more of the same, but in a good way. Jump circle, infinite hole. Infinite hole? That was my nickname in high school. I want a bucket. I want the bucket. Where's the bucket? Oh, reassurance bucket is this way. That definitely sounds like something I need.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless
Where's the
despair in
bucket?
those who played it. Well,
I don't see the bucket.
I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even
I
comforting.
do this in video
You may even
games,
come to
so I
long
feel
for
like
the
I
gentle embrace of jarring
actually
cognitive
agree with it.
dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
I do like it. I have a bucket. I
Can
feel
you
good.
feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that
thank
just
you.
holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
Oh, that's
The
really
benefits
nice.
of the bucket seem to go on and on.
I'm
don't
more
they?
I'm more
All
attractive.
this and more await you in the Stanley
The thing that I've
Parable.
always wanted to be in life. I'm making a joke, by the way. Oh, if anyone actually was thinking
Does
that I
anyone
was
give
being
out
serious with that,
awards for most
no.
enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
I want the t-shirt that says this t-shirt is the best new feature. I want that t-shirt in real life. Please, no screenshots.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Well, definitely not the 12th birthday. I feel like a 12-year-old should be in an office. Okay. I'm gonna have my bucket. Excuse me? May I leave? May I? May I leave? Excuse me, sir? 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 Damn it. Oh, I just totally missed that all the...
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along.
Fuck yeah, I
Happy
did.
12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
Oh. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece. I see, I see. Okay. That is very
Or
dumb.
actually,
Good for you,
maybe
though.
I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
The jump circle.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well.
Are we gonna charge
wait.
per jump?
You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle.
Yeah.
Oh well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
Oh. No new jumps? I'll pay money for new jumps. Easy achievements, that's me. The #1 achievement hunter
Now here's
on
something
Steam.
special. You remember that broken test achievement
That's
that
not
got
true
left
at
in
all.
the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel.
Damn
will
it.
now satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you. And I promise it will happen.
No. Oh, that's okay. Me and you, Bucket, we're in this together. Oh, was this a different direction to go? Was this just a dead end? Okay. Just a dead end.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
We haven't seen my nickname in high school yet. We haven't seen epilogue. That's new. Collectibles. Oops. Can you find them? We'll look this way. Oh.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't
That's
want
very
to stifle
funny.
the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Nice. 1 out of 6. Sweet. Okay. I mean, I
God,
do
it
like
really
a
is
collectible.
the worst when you collect everything in a video game, and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely
That pillow looks
tragic.
like a trash bag and I like it. I want a trash bag pillow in my house. Exit? I don't want to exit yet. Let's go up the stairs over there. God, I wish you guys would add a run button. That's new.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Okay. Oh, that was all that the epilogue was? That's funny. Settings World Championship. Let's check this out and then we'll check out the infinite hole. Oh. Okay. Guess we're not cool enough to get the Settings World Championship. This way to the hole. entrance. Infinity. Infinite hole chart. It just keeps going.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Is it weird that I'm still kind of looking for the collectibles? Do I want to fall? Oops, I didn't mean to fall down it. But I did! And here we are.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of
Yeah,
my more
totally
ingenious
wonderful.
concoctions, if I do
Not
say
at all.
So. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top.
It's okay, I got my
Do it on
bucket.
the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
But I have bucket. Me and Bucket are just teleporting down through space, time.
Okay, Stanley. I
Everything.
don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well,
I found the
good
end.
for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley.
I
I'm a
called
liar
your
and a
bluff.
cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling.
Well, I
Not
felt
every
really
person
comfy.
Actually wants to fall infinitely.
I felt pretty
figured
comfy. I
the
had my
hole was
bucket.
as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on.
What if I
I'll
just
be
want to
up
live in the
here when
hole
you're
for the rest
ready.
of my time? And just live here? Someone else lived here for a while. Look at all those smigarettes. Do you think he's gonna get mad if I sit here for a long time? I do like annoying him. It's very fun. Okay, fine.
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
Mostly infinite hole, it now says. That's funny. There wasn't anywhere else to go down there right now. Okay. Okay, I think we saw everything. I think now we just leave.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to?
Yes,
Ready
sir.
to move on now?
What is this?
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly
I like the
clear
bucket.
yet how exactly these features will
I
come
do like the
together as
bucket.
one
It's very
single
shiny.
coherent video game,
It
but
definitely looks
I
like
can
a
feel it
very
in my
well
soul.
textured
It's
bucket.
going to work. There's definitely a good
A
game
plus
in
on the
there
bucket.
somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Yeah, there's a bucket, so that's pretty good.
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
A little worse.
Who am I kidding, Stanley? This
There is
isn't
still a bucket.
coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything.
That's true.
I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Okay. I don't know why. The first thing I do in every game is, oops, I didn't mean to do that. I always go to settings in every single game. That's the first thing I always do. Well, now we're playing Stanley Parable 2.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a
balloons!
big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Good for Stanley.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened.
You know what this means?
Complete isolation.
We need to go find our
Something was
bucket.
very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from
Stanley
his desk
is
and
awesome.
stepped
Pretty
out
sure
of
he's
his
my
office.
spirit animal.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
My bucket.
Stanley
Yes.
picked up the bucket.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I feel very good about this. I don't know about you guys, but I feel good about this. I have the reassurance button. Bucket, I feel very assured.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Yes.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley
okay.
had felt the bucket calling to him, telling
Yes,
him
bucket,
that the
tell me where to
employee
go.
lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had
The bucket knows.
turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room?
We're having a
Yes,
bucket
Stanley
party.
thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Bucket is friend.
No,
Bucket is life.
Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Stanley did not.
No, said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Wait, this time do we kill ourselves? We have the bucket, so we should be safe. Let's do it.
Good.
But Stanley feared that any path
That
he walked
splat.
might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
Oh, okay. That was my favorite end so
Just
far.
a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
Can I take the bucket to the button room? Do you think I can take the bucket to heaven with me? Oh, they won't let me back in the... Rude. That's fine. Okay, let's take the bucket with us on some adventures. I mean, we can, like, pretty much speed
Stanley
run
touched the bucket
this stuff
tightly
now,
to his-
right?
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was it no? Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No.
Said the bucket.
Okay,
Don't
we're
go
not gonna
the
jump to our
meeting
death. We're
room.
just gonna
somewhere
go
else.
straight across
The
now.
cargo lift, yes. Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not
What do you
question
need me to
why
do,
or how
Bucket?
this bucket was speaking to him.
Anything for
It should
Bucket.
have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
This isn't a very dark room. Is there a different room? Okay. Oh, that dark room. Yeah. You're right, Bucket. Anything for Bucket.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
Did me and the Bucket live happily ever after?
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Bucket, I'm home! Did you really just sit on the couch all day watching your soaps? Really, Bucket? God, you never... That's why you'll never amount to anything. I'm just kidding, Bucket. You know I love you. Okay, let's go.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
But where's the bucket? There it is. Bucket. I got you, Bucket. Press Y to take Bucket. Do I want to go home right now, though? I guess it's my only option.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him
Bucket?
delusional like this,
Bucket?
obsessing
Oh, there
over
you
an
are.
inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Yeah, let's go back to work.
Oh,
Bucket?
I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's
Well,
it.
maybe that's enough
It
for
doesn't
me.
do anything else.
But how do I know that? Don't listen to the loud man. Press B for us to go back home. Okay, Bucket.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know,
Anything
once
for
upon a time
Bucket.
it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
It's okay. Oops, I was already
Sad.
smashing
I
A.
suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket.
It is a little
Well,
shiny.
I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
Yes, it does. I was saying that earlier. It's very well textured. You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley? Yes, I do, Bucket. You're my
Yes, I
best
suppose
friend.
on closer inspection, that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like
It's
it would
like
be
an
better at
old
moving
farm
an
bucket.
amount of water from one room to another.
To relive the same day with me over and over. Let's go, Bucket.
Oh my God, what am I saying?
Anything for you.
Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket? Oh no. I'm having feelings for the bucket. Oh no,
Uh-oh.
no. What's going on? Why do
Oh.
I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The
Don't
bucket
take my
would tell me
bucket.
what to do in this troublesome situation.
Don't you dare take my bucket.
Stanley, give
I
me
love the
bucket.
fucking
Give it
framed
to me.
photo of
Give
the
me
bucket.
The bucket, Stanley.
No.
I need it. Give it to me now. Give
No,
it,
this
or
is
I'll-
my bucket. Can't have it. No, my bucket. Go back to work, Stanley. But what if I don't wanna? I actually, I gotta wrap this up soon. Okay, well that was obviously the bucket ending. God, am I gonna have to not take the bucket for... But I really want the bucket. Just leave it. Just leave it, Cheyenne. We don't need it.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
I did. I entered that door.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
We're following for a moment.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I
need to
implore
find
you
4
to
more.
savor each and every moment you come across
Shut up.
one of these beautiful
Let's go.
figurines.
Because the boss knows what the boss says goes. If the bosses suffered losses, then that's what the boss chose. Well, how insightful. What a nice little limerick. Does this elevator work now? Do you think the elevator's gonna work, or do you think it's just gonna... Maybe I need bucket for the elevator to work. Ah, what a shame.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to take. He fell to his... Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
Nope.
That kind of anxiety isn't healthy.
Well-
So he relaxed for a few moments with some calming new
Oh.
age music.
That's kind of funny. They're like, yo, simmer down. Let's look at the cat picture. Cat.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway. Another miniature Stanley figurine. This,
Yay!
You know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands? Stanley figs? What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Okay, let's go to the mind control facility. Is there anything new here?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Are we really just gonna have to go through like all of the different like iterations of stuff? I thought this would maybe change a little.
It was too horrible to believe. It couldn't
Or have
be
other
true.
alternatives.
Had Stanley really been under someone's control all
I mean, I
this
guess we
time?
kind of had our
Was this the
alternatives.
only
Maybe I should
reason
have
he
brought the
was
bucket
happy
with me.
his
Maybe I
boring
fucked up
job?
by not
That
bringing the
his
bucket.
emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy
Do these do
or
anything now?
sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again
We didn't
exert its
turn
terrible
the system power
over
on
another
though,
human
so we
life.
could try that.
For he would dismantle the controls once and Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls.
Yes, I did, sir.
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you
Yes.
you tried to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that
Oh
what
no,
you
I just want the machine to control me.
Oh, Stanley.
Make me
I
happy,
applaud your effort, I really
machine.
do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do.
Ignorance
You were
is
supposed to
bliss.
Let it go. Turn the controls off and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's
Do they all say
desires.
3? They all say
this
3.
is much better than what I had in
3's
mind.
over here.
What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me.
It says 3.
Where we're going. What all this means.
It says 3 and it says blue.
What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before
Oh,
you're
okay, so
obliterated.
these all have like different
All
icons
right,
on
I'm in
them.
a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone.
You have 3
Other
attempts
times,
remaining.
I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning
One
it on?
red.
I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen,
Failsafe.
clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
Nope.
Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you...
I hit the 4 button.
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces.
Ooh, that shaking is real rough.
You let it go peacefully. Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me...
Oh, the shaking. Oh no. Oh, I can't play. I can't look at the screen. Oh, that's real rough. Okay. Whew. Thank you, Mr. Narrator, for ending the shaking.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing. The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
I'm going back to the bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him.
But now I'm going to ignore the bucket.
Employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Do I want to go down?
Oh, good Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Oh, wow. Okay, so this is a little different.
Your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much.
Oh, all my friends.
It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
Okay. Hi, Adventure Line.
Whee!
Welcome
Look at
back.
that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Oh, the music's back.
Now,
Oh.
this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
Not my bucket.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket.
No.
That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
Never. We will
I
never
think it'll make
destroy
a wonderful
bucket.
new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
No.
Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
No.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
Never. Bucket is friend.
Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spell-binding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
That was very silly.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
There will be a reward for finding them all. What? Trust the completionist instinct. Why wouldn't they just tell us something will happen? This investigation, this room, they feel pointless, to be honest. Okay.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and coming to a staircase. Stanley,
I gotta go. I can't wait that long for the... There it is. I knew there had to be one
I'm going back
under
to
the stairs.
name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me see.
I don't know.
I'm sure it will come to me. But Stanley just couldn't do
Again,
it.
I gotta
He considered
stop.
the possibility of
Shoot.
facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fined for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me! The bucket!
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his.
Oh, there's so many buckets. Oh my god.
Come to me, Stanley! Find me!
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his
There's
old
so many
friend.
buckets.
It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley went through an agony and blacked out.
It was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Is she gonna find me with the bucket? Like I'm clutching the
Woke up on a
bucket?
day like any other. She arose, got dressed,
Picked up her bucket?
of
She also has a...
comfort and
Oh
security,
my god, I love
and
this
walked
universe.
towards work.
She's holding the
But on this
bucket. Oh my
particular
god.
day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man
Had no bucket?
Of course, he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself. My life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
I love it. Honestly, I don't have time to go through all the endings, like with the bucket. And get all the stuff.
All his co-workers were
I
gone.
feel like...
What could it mean?
I feel like it's
Stanley
gonna
decided
take
to go
a
to the
little
meeting
bit
room.
too long.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I thought this was only like a 3-hour long game. I feel like there's like quite a bit more
Stanley
to
picked up the bucket and smiled.
go here,
He'd
but
never
I
be
need to
alone again,
stop
not
so I can
truly
go
alone.
and
Not with the bucket around.
uh,
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly
do
to
dinner
his
and
chest
stuff.
and entered the door on his left.
Maybe we can do. Let's go up to the. Let's go up to the boss's office one more time. Or actually,
Going to
have we been?
staircase, Stanley
went-
and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Went- I don't remember. Just go up. Let's try the elevator with the bucket. Do you think the bucket makes this any different? Stanley. Nope, I feel like that still went nowhere. Well, poop.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes. This is certainly the most logical explanation.
Let's go through the escape with the bucket. And then that'll be our last one, and then we'll end for
The elevator
today.
raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
It's so nice that Bucket is here.
Stanley and the
Bucket
bucket
is
walked
friend.
straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
You know, as long as Bucket's with me, I don't mind a violent death.
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Let's go.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought.
I
he
feel
was.
okay with
And he
it.
sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was crushed violently to death.
Oh. Not bucket. Just wrong way. This way.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket.
Oh.
It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It
The
was
bucket.
a glorious bucket to behold.
The bucket welcomes you to the grand exhibit. You are standing at the precipice of knowledge, much like a bucket itself. The human mind is frequently empty within a carnivorous void, but through use of the exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full and enriched and substantiated. Knowledge of the bucket and its history is the only true knowledge we really have. Will you take what you learn here out with you into the world? Will you accept with an open mind what may be challenging about the information in this exhibit? Will you change the lives of yourself and your loved ones as a result of this exhibit? Or will you turn a blind eye and continue to live as you were in ignorance and darkness? Oh, ignorance and darkness! Ignorance and darkness! I choose ignorance and darkness!
Can you see how arrogant
How
it was
beautiful.
for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
25 buckets. A photograph of 25 buckets, the greatest number of buckets ever captured on camera. The photographer experienced catatonic shock for several weeks as a result of the euphoria from exposure to this many buckets at once. I think that's more than 25. Call me wrong at estimating, but looks a little more. A bucket with two handles. This bucket is depicted as having two handles. Such a design has never been created in real life, having been deemed too dangerous and recklessly experimental. Every year, recklessly experimental, another nickname in high school. Every year, dozens are put to death just for attempting it. Inferno bucket, a replica of the Inferno bucket, which in the medieval era was so powerfully alluring that it drove dozens of nations to war with one another for control of it. Billions died, and yet, in spite of it all, the simple fact remains, no one can control a bucket. Oh my goodness. Cave drawing. The soft chanting is funny. While we know that buckets predate the existence of mankind, okay, we do not know by how long. This cave drawing depicts early man's discovery of the practical uses of the bucket, by which time the bucket had already likely been around for several millennia. Notice in these drawings how the bucket is allowing itself to be used, having judged humanity to be worthy of its treasures. How nice.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
The hanging bucket. This piece symbolizes the necessary relationship between bucket and humanity. However clear our grasp of the bucket may be, there is yet more that is always out of reach. This distance, inevitably, is for our own good. Well, obviously we must jump to the bucket. We got it. I heard us grab it. We have bucket.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset
Throw the
game.
bucket.
Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The
Okay.
bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
I accept. Hilarious. I love the bucket edition, I really do. I wish I could figure out how to get the bucket to heaven with me. Oh, I probably have to go through one of the endings with the bucket, huh? Because there is an ending where we end up in here. But anyways, I am out of time today. So, unfortunately, we can't, like, go through all the endings with the bucket. But, anyway, we played through, like, what, 99% of this game, so. The sequel is now paused. I love that now it just says the Stanley Parable, too. That's so funny. That's so great. Deluxe edition, 10 out of 10. They definitely nailed it. And I don't have anyone in particular to raid right now. And I really gotta run because I gotta get a bunch of stuff going, so I don't want to raid anyone new. I always feel bad raiding someone new and then having to like run right away, so we're just gonna end here for today. I'm probably gonna keep up with the schedule where we do during the week we do League of Legends, and then Fridays we do a variety game. And so if you like more like the variety stuff, just look out for the Friday streams, and of course all VODs always go on YouTube. Okay, thanks you guys. Everyone have a good night and a good weekend. Bye bye.